Ever found yourself stranded at a border with a passport running out of pages? Don't worry. Today's explainer is your ultimate guide to absolutely never facing that dilemma again, ensuring incredibly smooth travels every single time.
We are jumping right in because running out of blank pages is a severe pain point that can literally end your international travel plans right at the departure gate. I mean, picture this. You've booked your flights, you packed your bags, you are standing there at check-in, only for the airline agent to look up and tell you that you cannot board your flight. Why? Well, because your passport is full. It's an absolute nightmare scenario, but understanding exactly how passport pages work is the difference between an amazing trip and a really expensive cab ride back home. And this brilliantly illustrates how seemingly arbitrary international rules can totally ruin a trip, as different countries have very specific, non-negotiable page requirements. Heading to India, you need at least 2 blank pages. South Africa, you need 2 consecutive blank pages facing each other. And Namibia, get this, they demand up to 6 blank pages. If you don't meet those exact requirements, border officers and airline gate agents won't even give you a second chance. You're just denied boarding, plain and simple.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is understanding what actually counts as a blank page. A blank visa page is exclusively reserved for immigration stamps, entry permits, and visa stickers. Now, if you flip to the back of your passport right now, you'll see a few pages labeled endorsements. Listen, those are for legal notices and travel advisories. They do not count toward your usable blank page total. And honestly, even partially stamped visa pages are frequently rejected by foreign immigration officials. So if you're counting those endorsement pages as available space, you are making a massive miscalculation.
Okay, moving on to Section 1, the add pages myth.
Let's dive into this next part, because you might be thinking, hey, I'll just add more pages, especially if you're a veteran traveler who remembers doing exactly that. But we really need to bust a massive travel myth right here. As of January 1, 2016, the US government completely abolished the practice of adding pages to existing passports. The service is totally dead. This means your only actual solution when you run out of room is to completely renew your passport. You can't tape them in, you can't request an insert. Renewal is the entire ballgame now.
Now, you might be wondering why they did this. It wasn't just to inconvenience you, I promise. The physical modification of adding extra pages seriously compromised the structural integrity of modern electronic passports. The thickened bindings from those extra inserts were actually disrupting the embedded RFID chips and those cryptographic security threads. That was causing massive, widespread failures at automated border control gates all around the world. Plus, it significantly elevated the risk of document tampering and forgery. It was just a necessary security upgrade.
Which brings us to Section 2, the real solution, standard versus large book.
So let's look at how this builds into an incredible proactive hack for frequent flyers. When you renew, you actually have 2 options. You can get the standard book, which has 28 total pages, leaving you with about 17 pages for actual visas. Or you can check the box for the large book. This beautiful 52-page passport gives you roughly 43 blank pages for your stamps. That is nearly double the space, and the best part is that the physical dimensions of the cover don't change at all. It still fits perfectly in your pocket, it just has a slightly thicker spine. Now, what's really, truly interesting about this slide is the cost. Selecting that massive 52-page large passport book costs exactly $0 extra when you apply for a new passport or renew. It is completely free. If you're going to travel internationally, even just a handful of times over the next decade, there is absolutely 0 downside to checking that large book box on your application. It's just a brilliant preventative measure.
Okay, on to Section 3, step-by-step renewal guide.
Since we know you have to renew, let's walk through your comprehensive roadmap for getting this done as smoothly as possible. Let's see if you can skip the agonizing trip to the passport facility. Most adults actually can, as long as your old passport meets these 5 specific conditions for mail-in renewal using Form DS-82. You've got to have your current passport in your possession, it must be undamaged, issued when you were 16 or older, issued within the last 15 years, and issued in your current legal name. Hit all those, you're golden for the mail-in route. Breaking it down using the US process as our main example, the mail-in renewal is just 4 super straightforward steps. First, jump on travel.state.gov to complete and print Form DS-82. And hey, don't forget to sign it. Second, gather your most recent passport, a fresh 2x2 color photo, and any name change documents if you need them. Third, grab a check or money order for the exact fee. Finally, package the whole shebang up. Pro tip here for sure, use a secure, trackable USPS envelope like Priority Mail, because the post office is literally the only carrier authorized to deliver to these State Department processing centers. Now, alternatively, you might have heard about the new Digital Online Passport Renewal Framework, or OPR.
It's a fantastic system, but it strictly enforces some heavy rules. You've got to be 25 or older, you can't be changing your personal data, and this is the big one, you cannot travel internationally for at least 6 weeks. Why? Because the online portal absolutely does not offer expedited processing. If you are in a hurry, do not use the online system. Seriously, skip it. Which perfectly cues up Section 4, Costs and Expedited Processing. So how fast can you get it? And what are the 2023 costs? This matrix breaks it all down. Notice that eligible mail-in renewals don't get hit with that $35 execution fee that first-timers pay. So your base cost is just $130 for routine processing, which takes about 6 to 9 weeks. Need it faster? You can drop an extra $60 for expedited processing to shrink that timeline down to 2 to 3 weeks. You can also add $23.36 for 1 to 3 day return delivery, meaning the second they print it, they overnight it right back to your doorstep. Now, here is a massive insider secret. If you are paying that extra $60 for the 2 to 3 week service, you absolutely must write the word expedite boldly on the outside of your mailing envelope. When your package hits the massive sorting facility, this big visual cue guarantees your application is instantly flagged and tossed straight into the priority processing pile. But what if 2 to 3 weeks still isn't fast enough? Like, what if your flight is literally next week? Well, private third-party expediting couriers are going to be your best friend. These registered companies can legally hand-deliver your application directly to the Department of State. We're talking turnaround times as fast as 3 business days. Yes, you will definitely pay a premium service fee on top of the regular government costs, but when your entire vacation is on the line, these couriers are absolute lifesavers. All right, moving to Section 5, Final Tips and Disclaimer. As we wrap up this explainer, let's look at some critical best practices to keep you moving without interruption. The golden rule: don't wait until you're completely out of pages. Standard consular guidance strongly advises frequent travelers to kick off a renewal when they hit that 6 to 8 blank page threshold. Always check your passport's validity 6 months before any trip. And a quick heads up, your old, canceled passport and your shiny new one will arrive in completely separate mailings, so don't panic when only one shows up. Finally, stay on top of things by tracking your status online at passportstatus.state.gov. And as with all government processes, policies, and timelines fluctuate throughout the year. So please keep in mind, this explainer provides general guidelines based on current information. You should always verify with official resources or consult with a government officer for the latest updates and tailored advice for your specific situation. So I've got a challenge for you today. Go check your passport right now. Literally, pause this explainer, go grab your book, and actually count those visa pages. Remember, ignore those endorsement pages in the back. Look at that expiration date and really ask yourself if you're truly ready for the border. Because if you're not, you now know exactly what to do. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and safe travels out there.